Now that we know basics about CSS, that how we write it, what's the syntax, how we can attach it to HTML, now we can move ahead and see more concepts. Like more about selectors, more properties, and obviously some core concepts like box model, which we will be doing in this video, and in the later video we'll be doing flexbox, grid, and obviously media queries, how we can make our app look stylish on mobile devices. Okay, so before we move ahead, I want to do something that we started on the first video and never touched it upon ever since. So that's Git, right? Now I want to show you something cool thing. This icon which says 6, you can click on it. This is a version control, and it knows that we have installed Git or initialized a Git repository, and here will be all the files that have been changed since the last commit. Okay, so all the green files that are untracked files or new files, so we have to add them. We can add them manually by clicking on this plus icon, and the M is modified file. Okay, so index.html was in our last commit and we have modified after that, and we have added image, action, about, projects.html and styles.css after that. So it was not included in the first commit. Okay, so we can stage the changes individually, or we can just add our commit message, like what we should do, learned basics of HTML and started with CSS. Okay, now if we click this tick button, commit, yes, all of them will be committed without being added to stage. Actually both the steps happen at the same time, so yeah, it's pretty cool. We don't have to write git add, git status. Okay, so yeah, by the way, let's check git log. Now we should have 2 commits. Actually expand this. Okay, now we have 2 commits. First one is initialize the git repo and added first index.html, and second one is learn the basic. This one is the latest commit. Okay, so it's pretty cool. Now let's see. Okay, now I wanna delete all the styles that we did in the previous video. Okay, I don't think we have done anything else, and let's start fresh. Okay, so first let's see, let's make this a tag, let's make all the a tag black and remove this underline. Okay, okay, so select A. With color we can change the text color. We can make it black. Okay, it's black, and to remove the underline we can use text decoration. There's underline, there's line through, there's a ton of properties. You can have fun with it, experiment, and we're just gonna say for this none. Okay, so I wanna show you some cool thing, like what's this called? This is called hovering. Yeah, when we hover over move our mouse over the link. This is called hovering, and this property can be easily accessed using CSS a:hover. Okay. This is called pseudo selector, I guess. Hover is pseudo selector. Hover pseudo psu pseudo class. Okay, this is pseudo class. Okay, this is pseudo class. Yeah, pseudo something pseudo. Okay, and we can use what's the active link, what is visited link, where the links we have already clicked upon, and link, I don't know, unvisited link. Okay, and mouse over link, hover. Okay, so that we are gonna see here. So let's say color red. Okay, nice. What I wanna do, opacity, let's make its opacity 80%. Basically 0 to 1, it can take value 0 to 1. Okay, and 0.8 means 80% opacity. So I don't know if it's okay. So in hover we can say opacity 1. It's not very visible, I guess, but let's try. Okay, now it looks good. Okay, but not only that, I want to show you some more pseudo classes or pseudo selectors. I don't know. So let's see. First child, first of type. Okay, this selects the A, which is the first A tag in this document. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Display block. This way it's block level element. Then let's see. Background color. Background color blue. Okay. Now wait, first of type, I selected a first of type, so it should be first child. Should I select first child? No, not working. Okay, let's see. Body a first child. Okay, to select the first child we need to give the parent element. What is this? Actually it will work without that also. No, we have to give this. Okay, okay, now what's this? Okay, let me show you some more selectors. Like we can select the links inside this navigation only. Okay, so let's see, nav actually this should work, I guess. Background color can you see this? Can you see this? Can you see this? Okay, let's make li inside the nav display inline. Now does it look like, you know, navigation? Yeah. So what's happening? This is saying that all the select all the LIs inside nav. Okay, this is also a tag, this is also a tag, but it's not selected because it's not inside the nav element. Okay, are you getting it? Cool. So this is saying you know, what you say, nesting. Okay, so li inside nav, a inside nav. Okay, it's pretty cool. So now we have made this look like, you know, let's remove this actually, and actually let's understand the block. Sorry, actually let's first understand the box model, CSS box model. Then we can see some more you know, properties. So to understand the CSS box model, Chrome has amazing you know, thing. This one is box model. Okay, this is everything you need to know. So this is the wait, let's select an element like our image. Okay, now box model contains three things. Okay, padding, border and margin. Okay, so padding is simply, okay, you know what border is, right? Border is simply around the element, like this is element, our image is our element. Let's make this size you know, image display block and width let's see 40 pixels 400 pixels. Okay, so this is our image. Now if we give border, it will be around the you know, what do you say, around the element. Okay, every element in CSS in HTML we know is rectangular in shape. Okay, let's give the border 2 pixels solid black. Okay, this one is border. Okay, let's give a padding 10 pixels. Okay, and let's give margin. Actually you won't be able to see margin, but let's try margin 10 pixels. Okay, so this one is margin. Basically you can't see, you are seeing this side orange also because it's a block level element, so it takes full line, but margin is basically you know. Okay, let's see, you have element, let me open the paint. Okay, you have your element. Okay, so there's a border. Okay, and then there is a line, suppose imaginary line, which is saying this is where other elements can be you know, placed. So the distance between border and other elements is called margin. Okay, and the distance between border and that element is called padding. Okay, makes sense? It should make, actually. When you have to give space between you know, same elements, border and other element, you can use margin, and when you have to give you know, space between inside the border, you can use padding. Okay, make sense? Make sense? It should make sense. like there's a box where you're writing some text. Okay, now if you want to give space between the box, edge and text, you should use padding. And when you want to give space between element above the box and the box, between the element above the box and the box, did I say that right? Okay, then you should use margin. Okay, make sense? Make sense? It should make sense. I hope so. Let's just close it. Don't save. Okay, now that's all about box model. Now we can see how we can say with one value you can't tell margin, right? So let's say actually we can give like in the border we have three properties and we combined it to one. Padding and margin also works the same way. We should first we see padding and margin works exactly the same way, just padding is margin there, nothing else. Okay, padding top, sorry, dash top. Okay, let's see, 10 pixels. Did you see? Okay, let's make it 50 pixels. Okay, did you see it? Okay, now let's say margin right. Did you see it? Now margin, sorry, padding bottom 10 pixels and padding left is 90 pixels. Okay, did you see it? Okay, now if you want to combine all these four, these all work in the same order. First top, okay, sorry, comment is this way here, top, bottom, oh sorry, right, bottom, and then left. Okay, you have to write in this order. Now let's see, 20 pixel, 40 pixel, 50 pixel and 100 pixel. Let's save it and let's see. Now you see that here is which value should it take? Actually in CSS, if you have some value above it and you redefine or change the value in the bottom, it will take the bottom, okay, value at the bottom. Okay, so it doesn't require any of these. It will not consider any of these actually, because it reads the document from top to bottom. So it at the bottom, if the value is changed, then it will be changed, okay, no matter what you have written above it. So this is one way to write it, but you saw that I previously wrote only one value. So we'll see actually there are two types, two ways we can see it. Okay, so let's say we have to give different padding at top and bottom, and in the left and right we can add the same padding. So just remove it. So this is saying that give top 20 pixel at the top padding, left and right should be 40 and bottom should be 100. Okay, there is the same padding, top is 20 pixel and bottom is 100 pixel. Now we can even say that at top and bottom we have to give similar padding, and at left and right we have to give different padding. This will be used most frequently. Actually, single value which I did at the first will be used more, but this you can use this too more frequently. Okay, top and bottom 20 pixel and left and right 40 pixel. Now obviously all sides one similar padding. You see how many variation is there. You can actually write in so many ways. Yeah, and same goes with margin too. Exactly same with margin. Oops, exactly same with margin. Okay. Hopefully this makes sense, and as promised, let's commit our changes. Learned about box model and learned about CSS box model. Okay, let's commit. Yes. Cool. Now what should we do? Yeah, so now we can style even more our li. Okay, let's see. We can actually increase the opacity. It's subtle, but you know, it's cool. Okay, so now that display block, inline block, and now what should we do? Okay, first of all, let's give border to each of them, 1 pixel solid. Okay, and let's give padding of 10 pixels on each side, and let's give margin left 10 pixels. Now did you see? Margin creates the space between these two boxes, while padding creates space between the border and the element itself. Okay. So now we can do nav. Actually, UL inside the nav should be float to right. Clear both. Okay, so the UL basically to see what element is, you should always use border. Okay, now actually we don't need any clear this time. Okay, floats the element to that. If we comment it out, you can see this is starting from here, and if you want to float it right, we can do it like this. Now what else? Now we can select the first child, like among all the A inside the body, we need to select the first child, which is this one. Yeah, and we should give it a background color of it should be displayed block, and if you see, none of the other links, these are getting those properties. Okay, let's see. Margin no, padding 10 pixels. Now if you can see, we have a margin around the body. These are not going all the way to, there is some margin, right? You agree with me? So to clear that, we can either select body margin 0, or we can select all. With star we can say that select all the element and set the margin to 0. Since it is at the top, if we like give margin here, it will work because it's at the top, it is coming at the bottom. I already told you that CSS will take whatever comes at the bottom. Okay, let's keep it to body only. Okay. Okay, so what else? Yeah, let's copy the same and we'll make a hover background color dark blue, color white. Isn't it cool? It is, right? It is cool, right? So okay, what else? Now there are many other selectors. Okay, so like we saw hover, we saw first child. Like we can do this also, like paragraph first of type. I guess it should work. First of type, these are paragraphs. Let's see, background color, first of type. So everywhere, like this is the section of about, this is another section where we added links. So everywhere, what's happening? Yeah, in every section, first paragraph is getting the background color of this. Okay. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So now these are all selectors, and in the next video, actually before the next video, I want to talk about types of colors, how all we can add colors. Okay, there are actually 4-5 methods. Like you can directly give the name of the color, but you can, in the VS Code is actually very cool. You can select this. There's a color palette. Okay, you can select the color, and This is RGB, or red, green and blue. What's this? This is what percentage of red, red, green, blue are the primary colors, right? So what percent of red should be mixed, what percent of green should be mixed, what percent of blue should be mixed. There's also a hex code which you might have seen earlier too. So this is hex code. So you can also add color using this. You don't need to remember this. You can use either VS Code color palette or color picker. Google's. You can get this. And you can also use HSL. Okay, HSL basically hue, saturation and light. Okay, if the light is more, it will be more light actually, and if the light is less, it will be more dark. Okay, same way with hue, you can change it, experiment with it, how much percent, how much saturation should be there, how much, actually let's make light 50%, 60%, how much hue should be there. You can experiment with it, and HSL is really cool. So you see HSL and RGB and different methods to write colors. These are not limited to the colors name, okay, so you have this color picker, play with it and get mad. Normally you will use hex code, but in case you want like you want the same color, right, like there's a background color in this and you want body type to be of same background color, actually not the same, but not the same, but a little darker. So what you can do is you can say 50% and it will be the same, but that will be a little darker. Okay, 50% is a lot darker, but you know the gist, right? Like you can use it in the shadows and all. Okay, like you have a box and then its shadow should be of same color but a little darker, then you can use HSL. Okay, so I know it looks hideous, but I just wanted to give you a introduction to colors.